Now, Prince2 is a project management methodology, but there is a boundary to what Prince2 does not cover. Okay? Because so the three things that Prince2 categorically does not cover, the first is the specialist aspects. That is the industry specific or the type specific work, because Prince2 is a framework and it can be applied on any industry, any kind of projects. So it refrains from getting into the industry specific work. Then second difference, it does not talk about detailed techniques. Planning and control techniques can be used in support of the Prince2 themes. Examples, the CPA, earned value analysis. They're all there in the market. So you can use whatever fits your bill. But Prince2 does not advise precisely which technique you should be using. Techniques are only included in Prince2 where they contribute to the specific Prince2 treatment of a theme. For example, the product-based planning or the quality review technique, which are the only two techniques of Prince2. So this is one thing to take a note of. And the third thing that Prince2 does not cover is the softer skills, that is the leadership capability of a project manager. In a nutshell, if I say Prince2 tells us what should be done and why, but not how. And just to confirm, Prince2 is not a computer software application like Microsoft Project. It's not a planning tool. It's not carved in stone, that it is flexible to meet the needs of a specific project. And the idea is to make things less bureaucratic and easier to do, less cumbersome. Okay. What you see on your screens now is the structure of Prince2. As you can see, there are 4 integrated elements of Prince2. There are principles, there are themes, and then there are processes. And surrounding it all, there is the project environment, which is the context under which the project has to be run. Okay. This is called the 777 guideline. That is the 7 principles, 7 themes, and 7 processes of Prince2. We will learn about some of the details as we go further into the webinar. I'll be explaining what do they mean. Okay, now talking about the 7 Prince2 themes. Please understand that themes describe aspects of project management that must be addressed continually and in parallel throughout the project. You can think of them as project management disciplines. Just the way a discipline has to be respected and followed as we are moving into the project, so are themes. So if you see, there are the 7 themes. The first theme is business case, which answers the question why. That means it says, why should we do a project? What is the burning need? Why are we doing a project in the first place? Okay, so usually either it's an aspiration of an organization, like to gain a market share, or there is some burning need to fix a hole. There is a problem which has occurred, and if we do not do a project, then we will suffer. So this is what is answered by the question of business case. Then the second theme is organization, which answers the question, who are responsible? This talks about the stakeholders, the responsible people of the organization, because it's all about defining a structure of accountability in this temporary organization. This we just mentioned that project is a temporary organization. So it is about clarifying roles and responsibilities in that temporary structure. Then comes quality, which answers the question, what has to be created? And quality also means fit for purpose. That is, who defines quality is the customer. Because the quality is something very relative. To me, what quality means to me may not mean to you. So we let the horse do the talking and we ask the customer what does quality mean to them. Then comes the fourth theme, which is plans. Of course, nothing can be done without a plan. Plans answer the question how much, and when. By when will it be done? Then comes an inseparable aspect called risks. What if this happens, or what if that happens? So you can directly relate a good risk management with a successful project, because risk is reality. And if you are able to foresee and identify the risks very well into the project, there are very high chances that you will be able to keep the 6 variables of the project under control, because you are better prepared to handle it then. Then comes the sixth theme called change. As they say, change is the only thing that is permanent. What is the impact? So change is going to happen. We cannot be ostriches. We cannot keep our heads buried in the ground and say there will be no changes. No, this is life and changes will happen. The idea is to be more flexible and more adaptable to the changes. So we should know what is going to be the impact and how to handle that. This is the change theme that takes care of all this aspect. Then comes the last theme, which is progress, which tells where are we now, where are we going, and should we carry on? Okay, so if you look at the different kind of questions, you will see that at least one of the themes is handling the what's, the who's, the why's, and the when's. Okay. Now I take you to the Prince2 processes. Processes describe a stepwise progression through the project life cycle, from getting started to the project closure. As most of you would know what a process is, you will think of process as something which is having an input, and then it's like a black box. Something happens inside, some magic happens, and then there's an output which occurs. Okay, so that is a process. But internally to that black box, each process provides a checklist of recommended activities, products, and related responsibilities. The 7 processes are SU. I will also share with you the acronyms used in Prince2. Starting up a project. So this is the very first process. That is, you're just starting up. And rather, to tell you the truth, it is not even considered a project at the moment. It is considered an initiative, because right now it is not yet clear that whether it will mature into a project. Then comes the process of initiating a project. Now this is the process which allows you to do the blueprinting for a project, where you sit and you do some good work and you design your project as if you are really running it. Then comes the important process of directing a project, which is about the project directors, the project board members, the senior stakeholders, the people who are giving the money, who are giving the requirements, and who are helping them run the show. Then comes the fourth process called controlling a stage. Stage I will touch upon very soon when I'm coming into the principles of Prince2, but for the moment, you should just know that there is a process by the name controlling a stage which helps you control a module when you are inside it. And this process is very closely linked to managing product delivery, which is related to developing specialist work. It may be, writing of a code, or it may be creation of a website, or it may be setting up of a hardware server. But this process involves core work, the competency work, the specialist work. Then comes the sixth process of MSP, which is managing stage boundaries. As the name suggests, it is the gate. We are at an approval gate here. It's a boundary process. So there are intermittent control checks, which Prince2 suggests for better control of the quality of a project or the business case viability of a project. So this is the process which takes care of all those aspects. And last but not the least, we formally close a project in Prince2. under the process CP, closing a project. So even if a project has to be abandoned midway, there is formal closure of the project so that even if we have lost, we should not lose the lesson. Okay, so an intermediately closed project does not necessarily mean a failed project in Prince 2. Rather, it is a smart move because you have been able to save the money. Okay. Now I take you to the core,